Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident Tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, as we roll into week 3 leading up to Medarot Day, which is coming very, very soon as the days pass by, this week we may not be seeing a whole lot of new content, but we are indeed bringing in the Special Forces with a couple new ones that we are seeing, as well as reruns of very popular Spotlight models that may be very iconic to anyone that has played the early GBA games. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right in and call in the forces themselves as we highlight what was covered this week. Starting with the Gacha banners on the lineup, we start off with the newest and latest models of the KLN STG series. That being said, we're starting with KLN-03 Meisai Laiban, with a kit of Melee Trap, Hyper Beam, Gatling, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Nest. Behind him, we also have STG-03 Scimitar Tooth, with a kit of Head Trap, Beam Sword, Hammer, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Endurance. Now, these models may look moderately similar to folks that have not played the newer games, or have even just been sticking around for not too long, and that's because their body types are actually very similar, if not almost identical, to their earlier predecessors, which was the 02 models Meisai Maran and Malkyridus from Medarot 2. Whereas the 3 models are highlighting basically the same body type as mentioned, but instead are donning the iconic brown and yellow colors, or the yellow and blue colors, which are much more easily recognizable to folks. And with this are also coming in much more dangerous skills all the same. In addition to both of these, we're also seeing a rerun of all 4 of the elementals, which are the ones that may be iconic and recognizable to anyone that has played the earlier games. Starting that lineup in particular is SLD-0 Flame Tisala, with the kit of Heater, Double Fire, Float Legs, and the Generator leg ability. Behind her, we also have GNM-0 Earth Chrono, with the kit of Counter Guard, Double Guard, Tank Legs, and the leg ability of Adversity. Third in line of the Elemental series is the Sylph-type SLF-0 Wind Cecil, with the kit of Slip, Defense Seal, Evade Seal, Flight Legs, and the leg ability of Assail. And then last but not least, we also have the Undying type WDN-0 Aqua Crown, with the kit of Rebirth, Double Field Repair, Sea Legs, and the leg ability of Illusion. Now, in contrast to Meisai Laiban and Scimitar Tooth, who are pickup gachas, the 4 elementals are actually models that are currently in the permanent pool right now as we speak. That means these models will be under what's called Spotlight banners. These Spotlights are basically boosted rates for models that you could get in any other banner, mostly as a way to kind of highlight picking one of them up in the case you want them, or in the case that you somehow need them for the collection. That being said, definitely the big priority would be on Scimitar Tooth or Meisai Laiban, and I'd say pull for the elementals at your own discretion based on if you choose to want one or even a combination of them or their parts, as they're all still very good, but in comparison to limited gachas, they just don't have a high priority. With the Fierce Battles we have this week, we're again going back to the roots with the Select Corps, as we bring in with the Special Forces. With this case, bringing in TIR-0 Attack Tyranno with a kit of Fire, Double Hammer, Biped Legs, and the Straight leg ability. Behind him is BRA-0 Land Brachio with the kit of Anti-Air, Double Beam, Tank Legs, and the Bullet Rain leg ability. And then last but not least, to round this trio out, is PTL-0 Air Terra with a kit of Radar Sight, Double Sword, Flight Legs, and also with the Straight leg ability. Now, much like with the Gacha banners, all 3 of these models are very solid in some form or fashion as well, whether that be with biped legs or conventional melee parts, or even niche shooting parts in some cases. They all have a skill that can be offered. That being said, I would honestly have to give MVP of the week though to Air Terra in this case, given that Radar Sight and Standard Sword are much more conventional and better balanced than say Hammer or even Anti-Air might be. And even though Land Brachio is still relatively chunky, his tank legs with the Bullet Rain ability definitely is something that can't be ignored either. So that being said, if you do have some time on your hands to farm these guys out, it definitely would be in your best interest to have parts for them ready to go in the case that you do need them. Now we do also have another new Medarotter joining the permanent Medarotters banner going live this week as well, and that is our well-loved Medarot professor and granddaughter of Professor Aki, Nai. This time around as a super rare Medarotter, instead of having an emphasis on left arm power and heat and cool, instead focuses on leg armor and heat, and as well as melee and shoot resist, making her better suited for tanky type models or defenders, with her special ability buffing the heat and cool of the equipped bot by 70% of whatever their charge gauge is. So this will mean any particularly chunky or heavy defender, or even someone with tank legs, would be able to move moderately quickly once that effect is active, and guarantee they can get to the line pretty quick to guarantee that they can get to their job and start protecting their allies. Now this week, as we have been amping up leading up to Medarot Day, with just one or so events every week to kind of tide us over, this week we are seeing yet another event go live going forward from this week, but this one I feel will be a lot easier given the fact that we have 4 bots that are being highlighted as bonuses, but they are also spotlights, which means that they are very easily obtained if you don't already have them. But for this event in particular, we can challenge it to earn special limited time rewards such as UNI-03 Strike Horn, the newest and latest of the Unicorn series with an emphasis on offense more than healing. Next to that, we also have access to the Select Soldier medal, with an emphasis on support, healing, and defense, with leg masteries and wield, tank, and flight, and get very good for defenders or high mobility users. Then we also have access to the normal N and the R rare rank Medarotters for both Nai and a Select Soldier. So if you perhaps missed out on collecting either of these earlier on, now you have a chance to pick them up and make good use of them. Or if you have not pulled either of them in the Medarotters banner, this gives you an extra opportunity to pick them up. As Medarotter Nai by herself, I actually use very commonly on my Coppercross build for an emphasis on left arm nuking potential. Now with the event itself, unlike previous events we've had in the past up to recent that were ticket based, this event instead will be milestone or point based, which means that for every part equipped, you have a multiplier added to that particular bot for bonus points you can earn at the end of the round. That being said, if you can equip full sets of Meisai Laban or Scimitar Tooth as the two highlights, that gives you a 15% bonus per part equipped, or a maximum of 60% by themselves just for using the full set capped out. Each of the elementals can give you a bonus of 10% each. Of course, Strike Horn will also give you a 6% bonus, and the Fierce Battles will give you an additional 5 or 6% or so each, based on the number of parts equipped. As mentioned, I do feel this event will be a little easier to farm this time around, especially for newcomers and rookies, as 4 of the models being well, 7 technically if you include the Fierce Battles, are all very easily obtained and easily acquired and raised, in contrast to other events where they kind of demand that you pick up a full set of the model just to spread the parts. Now, just as it is with parts, Medarotters will also give you active bonuses as well. In this case, the super rare version of Professor Nai will give you a 20% bonus or so fully equipped and fully raised, whereas each other Medarotter will give just a little bit less under that based on what you have equipped or what you can use. That being said, again, pure sets are encouraged in this case, so if you do end up pulling for Meisai Laban or Scimitar Tooth, I do encourage that you use them as pure sets to maximize your point earnout at the end of every round. Now on the community front, we are still always looking for translators for the Medarot 3 and the Medarot Reloaded translation projects, so if you have any knowledge in coding or cleaning or Japanese and have some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any efforts that you'd be willing to provide and assist us in seeing those projects to completion. We would love to start getting to work on projects such as Medarots 4, 5, and Navi, or even some of the newer and later games too, but we lack the manpower and resources to do it. So if you'd like to see these projects to completion, or even see them made into a reality one day, we would love your help on that. Or if you know someone who could help, feel free to send them our way. You can reach out to me personally, or join our Discord in the link provided in the comments below, and all you have to do is just ask around, and we can get you in touch with the right people. Now with the art highlight, I am going to be just a little selfish this week, much like I was last week with the VR chat release and the teaser, but as of yesterday, the VR chat release and rebranding of the world from Medabots Row Battle Fight into the Medarots Museum is now officially live and ready to go. I would like to take a moment and say thank you to anyone that did choose to stop by or look around, or even come in and say hello while I was welcoming visitors on day of release. It was a lot of fun. It was so nice to see a lot of you, even just stop by for just a minute or two to take a look and try some models. But I do recommend, if you haven't had the chance to look yet, this is definitely an opportunity to take a look. A lot of time and effort went to that world. 5 years of love, effort, and a lot of complications went into making that a reality. But with that being said, I do appreciate you all for stopping by once again, as I believe that is just about everything that was covered in this week's episode. That being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community on there. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any updates regarding my usual videos, new updates, new videos, new merchandise, new games, or even translation projects. That's the first place you'll hear it before anywhere else. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at Isagamikura, so if you have any questions, feedback, or comments, or whatever, you're more than welcome to reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to respond. My DMs are always open for that very reason, so don't be a stranger, and feel free to stop on in and say hello. And do also give these wonderful friends of mine a follow as well. Twitter user Flintlock_JP, who is another very well-known Medarot artist in the community with a lot of very nice art. And I just finished actually making a 3D model of one of their designs they submitted for the Ori Meta contest. So Flintlock, if you are watching this, fantastic work on your designs, and I love seeing your art on my Twitter feeds. And do also give my friend Word a follow at It's Word, also on Twitter, for also with more Mecha and Medarot related art. Also a very good friend of mine. I definitely will not be sorry giving either of these people a follow. Now that being said, I do appreciate you all for stopping by once again, just as you always have. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.